The quantum sensors aboard Luna Base Aegis detected the anomaly first. Dr. Sarah Chen watched as the readings spiked across her holographic display, her dark eyes narrowing at the unprecedented energy signature emerging from the outer solar system. 20 years of monitoring deep space hadn't prepared her for this moment. "Director Matthews," she called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "You need to see this." The base director strode across the monitoring chamber, his weathered face illuminated by the array of holographic screens floating in the darkness. The facility, hidden beneath the moon's surface, represented humanity's best-kept secret, a quantum observation post capable of detecting advanced civilizations long before conventional systems could. "How many vessels?" Matthews asked, already knowing what the readings meant. They'd war-gamed this scenario countless times. Initial count shows 327 ships. Largest is approximately 4 kilometers in length. Sarah pulled up a three-dimensional render of the approaching fleet. The vessels possessed an organic quality, all curved lines and iridescent hulls that seemed to pulse with internal energy. Matthews activated his neural link, connecting directly to Earth's Defense Council. "This is Director Matthews. We have a Code Obsidian situation. I repeat, Code Obsidian is now active." Across Earth, in deep underground facilities and hidden mountain bases, lights began to flash. Soldiers manning posts that officially didn't exist snapped to attention. Scientists working on classified projects decades ahead of public knowledge began emergency protocols. The message arrived exactly 6 hours later, broadcasting on all frequencies in perfect standard English. "People of Earth, this is High Commander Vereen of the Arcturian Empire. Your world has been selected for integration into our dominion. Your resources will serve the greater good of our civilization. Resistance is futile and will result in unnecessary casualties. You have 48 Earth hours to submit your formal surrender. This is a generous offer. Accept it." In Washington, D.C., beneath the Pentagon in a chamber that didn't appear on any blueprint, General Maya Rodriguez watched the message replay. Unlike the public, who would soon panic at humanity's first contact with alien life, she felt an odd sense of relief. The waiting was finally over. "They're right on schedule," she said to the assembled Joint Chiefs, just like the quantum predictions suggested. She gestured to the holographic display, showing the Arcturian fleet's approach vector. "They're following standard conquest protocols, identical to what we've observed them using on other worlds. And they have no idea." Admiral Chen asked, though he already knew the answer. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. "Not a clue. As far as they're concerned, we're a pre-spaceflight civilization barely capable of reaching our own moon. Our quantum camouflage has hidden everything else." The truth was far different. For the past 40 years, humanity had maintained an elaborate deception. While the public saw occasional rocket launches and celebrated small steps in space exploration, Earth's true capabilities had advanced far beyond anyone's imagination. It had started with the quantum breakthrough of 2082, the discovery that consciousness itself could influence quantum fields. This led to technologies that the Arcturians, for all their apparent advancement, had never conceived of. While they mastered conventional spaceflight and energy weapons, humanity had learned to fold space itself, to hide entire fleets within quantum bubbles, and to develop weapons that could unravel the fabric of reality. "Begin Operation Nightfall," Rodriguez ordered. "Maintain our primitive facade. Let them think their ultimatum has us scrambling in panic. Meanwhile, I want our quantum fleet in position behind Saturn's rings. When they cross the Mars orbit, thinking they're facing a helpless planet." She let the sentence hang. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden strength stirred to life. Ships that could vanish from normal space emerged from secret bases on Mars, Europa, and Titan. Quantum weapon platforms, invisible to conventional sensors, powered up their reality warping cores. The trap was set. On the Arcturian flagship, High Commander Vereen observed Earth through the ship's sensors. He saw exactly what humanity wanted him to see, an unprepared world, ripe for conquest. His mandibles clicked in satisfaction as he reviewed their standard conquest protocols. But in the quantum realm, where humanity had learned to operate, things were very different. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from Luna Base Aegis as Earth's quantum grid came online, a web of power that would soon remind the galaxy why humanity had chosen to hide its true nature for so long. The clock was ticking. In 48 hours, the Arcturians would learn that some wolves prefer to dress as sheep, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal their fangs. The Earth's public response to the Arcturian ultimatum was exactly what High Commander Vareen expected: chaos, fear, and desperate pleas from world leaders for more time. But in the quantum shadows, humanity's real response was taking shape. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, in a facility protected by kilometers of ocean and advanced quantum fields, Admiral Sarah Chen, twin sister to the quantum scientist monitoring Luna Base, supervised the deployment of Earth's hidden fleet. The command center hummed with controlled activity as officers coordinated with ships scattered throughout the solar system. "Quantum signatures are masked," reported Captain James Turner, his dark hands dancing across the holographic controls. "The Arcturians still think they're detecting random quantum fluctuations from solar activity." Sarah nodded, watching as green dots representing Earth's vessels moved into position. Unlike the massive, imposing ships of the Arcturian fleet, Earth's vessels were elegant and compact. They didn't need to be large, not when they could manipulate the fabric of space itself. "Status on Operation Shadowfall?" she asked, her voice carrying the same measured tone as her sister's. "Phase 1 is complete," Turner responded. "We've seeded quantum distortion mines throughout their approach vector. As far as their sensors can tell, it's just normal space debris." He paused, allowing himself a small smile. They have no idea each piece of debris can create a localized reality vacuum. The Arcturian fleet had passed Neptune's orbit, their confidence evident in their tight formation. They hadn't even bothered to send scout ships ahead. Why would they when dealing with a primitive civilization? High Commander Vareen stood on his bridge, mandibles clicking in satisfaction as he reviewed the responses from Earth's governments. Some were belligerent, others pleading, but all revealed the fear he expected. His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Crix, approached with a data stream. "The humans are attempting to mobilize their primitive nuclear weapons," Crix reported, amusement clear in his multi-tone voice. "They seem to think fusion bombs might harm our shields." "Let them waste their efforts," Vareen replied. "It will make the conquest quicker when they exhaust themselves needlessly." He gestured to the tactical display. "Show me their pathetic orbital defenses again." The display showed what appeared to be standard satellites, primitive space stations, and scattered debris, all carefully crafted quantum projections hiding Earth's true capabilities. What the Arcturians saw as a crude communications satellite was actually a quantum focal point, capable of folding space in ways that would shatter their understanding of physics. Back in the Mariana Command Center, Admiral Chen received the signal she'd been waiting for. The quantum entanglement communicator, technology the Arcturians considered theoretically impossible, lit up with a message from Luna Base. "The enemy fleet has crossed the quantum trigger line," her sister reported. "All pieces are in position." Sarah took a deep breath. Humanity had hidden its true nature for decades, playing the role of a young, primitive species. That deception was about to pay off spectacularly. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Across the solar system, invisible quantum engines powered up. Earth's ships, hidden in dimensional pockets, prepared to emerge. But first, they would demonstrate why challenging humanity had been the Arcturians' greatest mistake. On the Arcturian flagship, an ensign suddenly straightened at his monitoring station. "High Commander, I'm detecting unusual energy fluctuations in the debris field. Probably their primitive attempts at early warning systems," Vareen dismissed. "Nothing that could possibly." The ensign's response died in his throat as space itself seemed to twist. The first quantum mine activated, creating a sphere of altered reality that engulfed one of their escort vessels. The ship didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist in normal space, translated into a quantum state that the Arcturians couldn't even detect. "What's happening?" Varine demanded, his confident demeanor cracking for the first time. "Report." "Multiple anomalies detected," Crix shouted, his sensor displays showing impossible readings. "We're losing contact with outer escort vessels. They're just disappearing." In the Mariana facility, Admiral Chen watched the chaos unfold. "They're responding exactly as predicted," she noted. "Begin Phase 3. Let's show them what humanity has been hiding all these years." The quantum mines were just the beginning. As the Arcturian fleet scrambled to respond to an attack they couldn't understand, humanity's real surprise was about to be unveiled. The Wolds had waited patiently in sheep's clothing, and now it was time for the hunt to begin. High Commander Varine's flagship shuddered as another quantum distortion wave passed through the fleet. In the past 6 hours, he'd lost contact with 43 ships, simply vanished, as if they'd never existed. His tactical display, once orderly with neat formations, now showed his fleet scattered in disarray. "Impossible," he muttered, watching another ship disappear from his sensors. "They're primitives. We saw their technology level. This cannot be happening." "High Commander," Sub-Commander Crix's voice carried an edge of panic. "We're detecting massive energy signatures everywhere. They're emerging from quantum bubbles we didn't even know existed." Around the Arcturian fleet, space itself seemed to unfold. Sleek, dark vessels materialized from nowhere, their hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Earth's quantum fleet had finally revealed itself, emerging from their dimensional hiding places in a carefully choreographed dance of technological superiority. In the Mariana Command Center, Admiral Chen watched the deployment with satisfaction. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Execute protocol revelation. Show them what humanity can really do." The first demonstration came from the QS at Hawking, Earth's lead quantum dreadnought. Unlike the massive Arcturian ships that relied on brute force and energy shields, the Hawking was relatively small, its power lying in its ability to manipulate reality itself. Captain Maya Patel stood on her bridge, watching the enemy fleet through quantum-enhanced sensors. "Target their command ship's propulsion systems," she ordered. "Let's show them how we deal with uninvited guests." The Hawking's quantum lance activated, not a beam of energy or matter, but a focused stream of altered spacetime that simply ignored the concept of Arcturian shields. On Varine's flagship, engineers watched in horror as their quantum alloy hull simply phased out of existence where the lance struck, leaving a perfect circular hole through multiple decks. "How?" Varine demanded, his composure finally shattered. Their most advanced weapons were chemical rockets and nuclear devices. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through on all Arcturian frequencies, her tone carrying a hint of amusement. "Did you really think humanity would advertise its true capabilities? We saw you coming decades ago. We watched you conquer other worlds. And we prepared." Across the solar system, Earth's hidden quantum defense grid activated. Satellites that had appeared primitive to Arcturian scans revealed their true nature, generating fields that disrupted the very laws of physics the invaders relied upon. Their energy weapons diffused harmlessly into quantum foam. Their shields became useless against attacks that came from dimensions they couldn't perceive. All ships pressed the advantage. Admiral Chen commanded, "Remember your training. Don't get cocky. They're still dangerous, just outmatched." Earth's fleet moved with precision that spoke of years of preparation. Ships appeared and disappeared through quantum bubbles, striking from impossible angles. The Arcturians found their advanced targeting systems useless against vessels that could exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. On Luna Base Aegis, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the quantum fluctuations across the battlefield. "Admiral, we're detecting power spikes in their remaining ships. They're trying to adapt their shields to quantum frequencies." "Too little, too late," her sister replied. Execute Phase 4. The next wave of Earth's attack demonstrated why hiding their technology had been so crucial. Quantum torpedoes, weapons that could traverse normal space in zero time, materialized inside Arcturian ships, bypassing their defenses completely. Each detonation created a localized bubble of altered spacetime, cleanly removing sections of enemy vessels without the messy aftermath of conventional explosions. High Commander Vareen watched his mighty fleet being systematically dismantled by an enemy he gravely underestimated. All ships, emergency quantum jump. Retreat tow. I wouldn't do that. Dr. Chen's voice came through again. Your quantum drive signatures are already locked in our grid. Try to jump, and you'll find yourself materializing inside a sun. The battle had become a rout. Earth's forces, trained for decades in secret, executed their plans with ruthless efficiency. Ships that had conquered dozens of worlds found themselves helpless against an enemy that had turned the laws of physics themselves into weapons. In the Mariana facility, Admiral Chen allowed herself a small moment of satisfaction. Send the message we prepared. Let's see if they're ready to discuss terms of surrender. Throughout the solar system, the remains of the mighty Arcturian fleet drifted powerless, their crews watching in stunned silence as Earth's quantum ships took up perfect formation around them. The message they received was brief, elegant in its simplicity. Your civilization will be allowed to survive. Resistance truly was futile, just not in the way you imagined. High Commander Vareen stood in his private quarters aboard his crippled flagship, watching recorded transmissions from Earth's public networks. His mandibles clicked thoughtfully as news reports showed panicked citizens, arguing politicians, and protests outside government buildings. Despite humanity's technological superiority, their public face still showed division and fear. Perhaps we've been fighting the wrong battle, he murmured, activating his neural link to Sub-Commander Crix. Begin protocol sundering. Target their information networks. In the following hours, Earth's public communication systems were flooded with carefully crafted messages. The Arcturians, masters of conquering worlds, hadn't survived this long without learning the art of manipulation. Their AI systems, analyzing decades of Earth's public broadcasts, crafted perfect wedges to drive between nations. At the Pentagon's Quantum Command Center, General Rodriguez watched the Arcturian transmissions with growing concern. They're good, she admitted to Admiral Chen over their quantum-encrypted link. They're hitting every historical pressure point we have. Border disputes, resource conflicts, old grudges. Let them try, Admiral Chen replied, her holographic image flickering slightly. They still don't understand who they're dealing with. The Arcturian psychological assault was sophisticated. They offered exclusive technology deals to specific nations, promised military support to others, and hinted at secret deals being made by rival governments. In previous conquests, such tactics had turned civilizations against themselves, making them easy prey. But Earth had prepared for this too. Dr. Sarah Chen, monitoring from Luna Base Aegis, detected the first Arcturian quantum infiltration attempts. Their computer systems, advanced as they were, tried to breach Earth's quantum networks. They're persistent, she noted to Captain Maya Patel, who had docked the QSS Hawking at the lunar facility for repairs. But they're looking for traditional digital vulnerabilities in a quantum system. Like trying to hack a quantum computer with an abacus, Patel replied, watching the failed infiltration attempts bounce harmlessly off Earth's defenses. In Geneva, at the Global Unity Center that officially didn't exist, representatives from Earth's nations gathered in a quantum-shielded chamber. Unlike the public arguing playing out on news networks, a carefully orchestrated show. Here, the true face of human unity was revealed. The Arcturians believe they've found our weakness. Chinese Premier Liu addressed the assembly. They expect us to turn on each other, just as their previous victims did. They don't realize that humanity's greatest strength isn't our quantum technology. It's our ability to unite against external threats. Let them think their psychological warfare is working, Indian President Sharma added. While they focus on exploiting non-existent divisions, our quantum fleet is already in position for the next phase. High Commander Vereen watched with satisfaction as Earth's public networks showed increasing signs of strain. Military units in several nations were reportedly on high alert. Economic markets appeared to be in chaos. Refugee movements began along several borders. They're fracturing, he reported to the Arcturian High Command via quantum burst transmission. The veneer of their unity is cracking. Request permission to proceed with targeted diplomatic initiatives. But in the quantum realm, Earth's true response was taking shape. The public chaos was a carefully crafted illusion, designed to keep the Arcturians focused on a strategy that had already failed. Admiral Chen met with her sister via quantum hologram in a secure virtual space. Their entire psychological warfare division is focused on exploiting our supposed divisions, Sarah reported. They've committed significant computational resources to analyzing our public networks. Perfect, the Admiral replied. They're so busy looking for cracks in our diplomatic facade that they haven't noticed the quantum signatures gathering around their remaining fleet. In orbit around Mars, Captain Patel had returned the QSS Hawking to active duty. Her quantum sensors detected Arcturian communication bursts trying to reach their homeworld, each transmission boasting of supposed success in turning Earth's nations against each other. If only they knew, she mused to her bridge crew. The last civilization to truly divide humanity was human. We learned that lessons centuries ago, buried those hatchets, and kept the peace hidden from prying eyes. The Arcturians are trying to exploit a weakness that hasn't existed for generations. General Rodriguez sent the coded signal that would begin the next phase of Earth's response. As the Arcturians celebrated their apparent psychological victory, humanity's quantum fleet prepared to demonstrate why attempting to manipulate Earth had been their second grave mistake. In his quarters, High Commander Vereen received another transmission from Earth's public networks, more apparent evidence of human division and weakness. He allowed himself a moment of satisfaction, not realizing that his empire's latest psychological warfare strategy was about to backfire spectacularly. The quantum display aboard the QSS Hawking showed the remnants of the once mighty Arcturian fleet scattered across the inner solar system. Captain Maya Patel stood at her command station, watching as the final pieces of Earth's master strategy fell into place. The Arcturians' psychological warfare had played directly into humanity's hands, exactly as planned. All ships in position, her tactical officer reported. Quantum grid is at full power. The Arcturians are still focused on their propaganda broadcasts. Send the signal, Patel ordered. Let's show them what real psychological warfare looks like. Across the solar system, Earth's quantum network activated in a way the Arcturians never anticipated. Every ship in their fleet suddenly received the same transmission, but not in standard communication formats. Instead, the message came directly through their neural networks. Bypassing all security through quantum entanglement technology they thought impossible. The transmission showed them the truth. Decades of human unity hidden behind a carefully maintained facade of division. Secret quantum cities beneath Earth's oceans and inside hollow mountains. Fleets of ships that could traverse dimensions. And most devastatingly, footage of their own empire's colonies, where Earth's quantum observers had been watching, undetected for years. In the Mariana Command Center, Admiral Chen watched High Commander Vereen's reaction through quantum surveillance. The Arcturian leader's mandibles trembled as he witnessed the full scope of his miscalculation. Impossible, he whispered, but the evidence was undeniable. Our neural networks are quantum encrypted. You couldn't possibly. We mapped your neural patterns decades ago. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through, synchronized across every Arcturian ship. Did you think we chose this moment by accident? We've been preparing for this encounter since before you knew Earth existed. At the Global Unity Center, Earth's leaders watched as their true masterpiece unfolded. The Arcturian fleet's own psychological warfare systems, designed to turn populations against themselves, became the perfect conduit for humanity's counterstroke. Show them what we found in their colonies, President Sharma commanded. Let them see what their empire really is. The neural network transmission shifted, showing the Arcturian crews something they'd never seen, the true face of their empire's expansion. Earth's quantum observers had documented everything. The suffering of conquered species, the exploitation of resources, the destruction of unique civilizations. But more importantly, they showed the growing resistance within the empire itself. Your own people are ready for change. General Rodriguez's voice joined the transmission. We've been in contact with resistance movements across your empire for years. They've been waiting for someone to prove you're not invincible. High Commander Vareen watched in horror as his neural network filled with messages from his own colonies, encrypted transmissions that had been intercepted and held by Earth's quantum systems, now released in a flood. Decades of protests, pleas for reform, and warnings about unsustainable expansion. You have a choice, Admiral Chen announced, her quantum fleet now visible in an encompassing sphere around the Arcturian ships. Your empire can evolve, or it can end. Earth is prepared for either outcome. On the QS of Hawking, Captain Patel received the first surrender signals, not just from Vareen's flagship, but from individual ships whose crews had seen the truth through their own neural networks. The carefully maintained hierarchy of the Arcturian Empire cracked in the face of undeniable reality. They're standing down, Patel reported to Admiral Chen. Neural network activity suggests the crew rebellions are spreading through their entire fleet. In the quantum-shielded chamber beneath the Mariana Trench, Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. Begin Phase Omega, she ordered. Show them our terms. The terms of surrender that appeared in the Arcturians' neural networks weren't what they expected. There were no demands for territory, no humiliating concessions. Instead, they found a proposal for transformation, a path to reform their empire from within, with Earth's quantum technology helping to ensure a peaceful transition. You never wanted to destroy us, Vareen realized, speaking directly to Admiral Chen through the quantum link. This entire conflict was a surgery, not a war, she confirmed. Your empire needed to be shown a better way. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying an enemy, but in transforming them into something better. As Earth's quantum ships maintained their vigilant formation, the message spread throughout the Arcturian Empire. Countless species who had lived under their rule saw hope for the first time. The empire that had sought to conquer Earth would instead be reformed by it, transformed by the very psychology they had tried to use as a weapon. In Luna Base Aegis, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the quantum readings normalize across the solar system. It worked, she said softly. Humanity's first galactic intervention, and we did it without destroying them. We did it by being better than them, her sister replied through their quantum link. By proving that true strength lies not in conquest, but in the wisdom to know when and how to use power. As the sun rose over Earth, its light reflected off the hulls of both human and Arcturian ships, now floating peacefully in formation. The war was over, but humanity's role in galactic affairs was just beginning. They had revealed themselves not just as warriors who could defeat an empire, but as architects who could reshape one. High Commander Vareen, standing on his bridge one last time, watched Earth rotate slowly beneath his ship. We thought we were the teachers, he mused to nobody in particular. But we were always the students,